What is up, Mother Puckers? We are back. Welcome back to Shut the Puck Up. I'm your host, Michael, and I'm joined by my co-host here.
I think my name is Luke.
He thinks that maybe we'll figure it out by the end of this. Probably not, because today we're talking about hockey, not your amnesia. So what we're talking about is the Olympics. That's what's going on right now. Obviously, it's a big thing. The NHL, it was kind of a bit of a fight to kind of let them get this break instead of our usual All-Star or Four Nations game, to get this break instead so the NHL players could compete. Starting off, though, we have Team USA. The women just won gold in the Olympics. It's their third gold medal for them. The other two were 1998 and 2018. So they went up against Canada, and it was 1-0 for almost the entire game. And then Hillary Knight ties the game for the U.S. with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left in regulation with the extra attacker where you pull the goaltender, which obviously is done a lot in the NHL, but it doesn't usually succeed. And I don't think it really works that well, but obviously it worked here.
And it succeeded. And you want to know why? You want to know why it succeeded?
Why?
Because we're America. And all we do is win.
Yeah.
And we needed that.
Megan Keller then in overtime scored the goal too to give us the win, obviously. And yeah, obviously the U.S.-Canada rivalry is a big thing, and that's what it's looking like the men's team is going to come up with too, because the men's U.S. and Canada teams in the Olympics are both undefeated. They're at 3 wins apiece, which because of that, we had the men's team beat Sweden for the first time in 66 years. In the Olympics. Obviously, they tied back in the 80s, and as you've mentioned, that was the last time we won gold, I believe.
We played Sweden in the Olympics. I think it was the last time we even played Sweden in the Olympics. We tied. We won gold. 1980, Miracle, The Miracle on Ice. Great movie. Love that movie.
It is a great movie. So we have Dylan Larkin got the goal for the U.S. The goal from Sweden was from Mika Zibanejad, who obviously is a current Ranger. He has had an amazing time at the Olympics. He has 6 points in 5 games. It's 3 goals, 3 assists. And so how do we see him when coming back? Because like I said, I mean, we've seen he was in a bit of a slump earlier, then he's been coming back more now. And so how are we going to see him in, the upcoming season in March?
Mika March is a real thing. He usually plays great in March, and he's got 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points, like you said. And I hope he takes that momentum and carries it forward, because also now by default, he's the Rangers' best player.
Yeah.
By default. Panarin is gone. May he rest in peace.
Yes, Artemi Panarin is traded. He is with the LA Kings now, and he was our top points, top goal scorer, and I believe maybe top assists. I'm not quite sure.
He was top everything.
Yeah.
Fly high, Artemi. We will miss you. Gone but not forgotten.
But Mika doing great. Obviously, we've had some other Rangers who Trocheck is on the U.S. team as well, and I know that he has 1 assist. I'm not sure how many other points he has. And then Miller is also there, and I have not seen him do much.
And Trocheck is the extra skater who kind of floats around, and Miller has like a real job on the 4th line where he actually plays. And Jack Hughes and Brock Nelson are also on that 4th line. And Brock Nelson and Jack Hughes are playing fantastic. And JT Miller's just there. Kind of because he can be. But hopefully the Olympics and the Olympic break will help him get his head in the right space, because he's the captain of the Rangers and he needs that, and he kind of sucks at his job as being the captain. Yeah,
we've seen him very much die down in his enthusiasm from when he first came in. And then, also looking at other Rangers people in the Olympics, we also have the men's U.S. team is coached by Mike Sullivan, the same coach of the New York Rangers. And he is doing incredible right now with this U.S. team, but with the Rangers not having as much luck. And so, again, like with Mika, how are we going to see his coaching, maybe change from the Olympics? Is he, maybe learning something here that he'll be able to apply to the Rangers?
I think he's learning how to coach against good teams and good coaches, like John Cooper, the coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning, is Canada's head coach. I couldn't tell you about the rest of the teams, but I'm assuming they're all very good coaches. They coach an Olympic team. So I think he's learning about how to do that. He's learning about how to play against good teams. At times, I think the Rangers have kind of felt outmatched, but the talent pool for the U.S. might not be as good as, say, a Canada. So I think he's using that to his advantage. And I hopefully, he's able to put everything together and, kind of dragged the Rangers out from the bottom of the barrel. They're in, second to last place in the Eastern Conference? So maybe they finish fourth to last at the end of the year.
Yeah, they've had a tough time, but also something was you said about defense at one point, and the Rangers have not really had defense. Obviously, Fox is still out, so hopefully he's back after the break, and hopefully Igor is back as well. But very much defense has been a big thing with the U.S. Team in the Olympics, but it has not been a priority for Sullivan, it feels like, with the Rangers, because we've seen since Fox has been out on injury this, this kind of power play where they use 5 forwards instead of having the defenseman, and that's led to a lot of shorthanded opportunities. A lot of times it's much easier for the opposing team to get the puck out of the zone because you don't have defensemen hanging back.
And Adam Fox is a really kind of rare defenseman where he's like a puck-moving defenseman. He's like offensive-minded. And there's only a handful of them in the league. And you're seeing them all like congregate in all these Olympic teams. Like in the U.S., like Zach Werenski's already got 20 goals, which is insane for a defenseman. And like Quinn Hughes scored the overtime goal against Sweden. It's like you need those kinds of players. Adam Fox is a really good one. He's a Norris Trophy winner. And not to have him, they don't have a second guy who can kind of play that game. And so the forward, I guess, is a smart idea, but like when they turn the puck over, which they do a lot because they're not good, you don't have anyone who can play defense.
Yeah, and obviously our other issue is that Igor was out for a while too, and hopefully he'll be back because our goaltending, not to say Jonathan Quick is bad, but obviously he struggles. You can't put him out every night. He's, 40 or maybe even 40 or like 41 or something. And, it doesn't seem like that old, but for NHL and for hockey, and especially for a goaltender when you have to be super flexible, he can't go out every night like that. And our other goaltender, Spencer Martin, is just not it. Obviously, he's playing in, another league in another country before being brought over here.
And he's played like they picked him off the street from China, which is where he was previously. And they signed him to a 2-year contract, I assumed, for Hartford, but now this guy's got to play. And oh boy, does he stink.
Yeah, so now, and we do have good goaltending like prospects, because obviously we've had Garland in the AHL who is looking to be very good, but we're going to have to see what they do with that. With Sweden, obviously you mentioned the overtime goal by Quinn Hughes. He has been having a good season. He got traded, obviously, from the Canucks, which is not the greatest team, and I think he's maybe been happier, but you can't really tell by the look on his face because he disassociates a lot. He sees ghosts. It's kind of ramped up in Italy. I think he's a little more confused because they're Italian ghosts now, and like they're older and a different language and all that. And he disassociated in the gold medal game today for the women's team. He's just doing his own thing. Yeah, but we're gonna have to see. The U.S. is taking on Slovakia tomorrow, and then I obviously think that the final matchup is going to be the U.S. versus Canada because, yes, the U.S. doesn't have as many players as Canada does, but we still have a lot of players. And when you look at these teams, especially compared to obviously smaller teams like Slovakia, I'm not sure about the players that they have, but the U.S. has almost all NHL players who are going to be, future Hall of Famers, as does Canada. And so I think that that's going to be an interesting matchup. And I think, in my opinion, that's going to be the final matchup is going to be U.S. and Canada. And I would say that the U.S. is going to take it home, but who do you think?
I got 3 words for you. U, S, and A. Partly because I think America has better goalies, but also because it's my country.
Well, that goaltending is something that if you have bad goaltending like we've seen, even if the rest of your team is really good, it's those couple opportunities can really let up. And we see Igor does hold the team together a lot where we've lost by a lot more without him there. And so if we had our defense better and Igor, it would be better. So we're going to have to see, what happens with that. We're going to have to see what happens.
We've got Vezina winning goaltender Connor Hellebuck, and Canada's got a bunch of jabronis.
Yeah. Obviously, Hellebuck is amazing. He's had a bunch of amazing years. He's with Winnipeg right now, I believe. But we'll have to see how that goes. That's all the time that we have for today. We're going to call it here. Thank you so much, and goodbye.
Now Jack Hughes puts it around the court. United States with numbers. Watch across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States.